Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This video is regarding Qasasun Nabiyyin. Today is 25th June 2020, corresponding to 3rd Dhul Qa'dah 1441. Before you start this book formally with your teacher, this video explains what is expected from you as a learner, as a pupil, as a student. It's very important that you follow these guidelines and you maintain it as long as it is required. What you will achieve, inshallah, through this is that you will slowly build your ability and capacity in understanding Arabic text, translating it, analyzing it, and inshallah it will give you a foundation to move ahead to more challenging texts, etc. Our ultimate objective is the Qur'an and Ahadith. These are our two ultimate objectives, and both are in Arabic. And it is extremely important that if we want to understand the Qur'an without a translation, etc., if we want to understand Ahadith and read the various commentaries on the books of Ahadith which are in Arabic, then it is extremely important that we have competency in the Arabic language, in particular what we call classical Arabic, the Arabic of the Quran and the Ahadith. So from here, we will look at what is expected from you. So first and foremost, as you will notice from the screen, is number one, you need to read the text correctly, the Arabic text. So that's the first and foremost requirement, reading the text correctly, the ibarah. That's number one. Number two is that you successfully identify each individual word in the text. By this, what we mean is that you identify whether the word is an ism, fi'l, or harf. So, noun, verb, or particle. And once you've identified that, then you will go a little bit deeper. And if it's an ism, you will then determine the plural of the ism if it's a singular, and vice versa. Number one. Number two, type. What type of noun is it? Ism is it? For example, is it a jamid? Is it a masdar? Is it a mushtaq? If it's a mushtaq, what type of mushtaq is it? Is it an ismul fa'il, ismul maf'ul, ismul tafdil, etc.? The same goes with fi'l, that if it's a verb, you will determine several things. What type of verb is it? The bab, the haftul aqsam, the madi mudari pattern. And harf, what type of harf is it? Is it a preposition, i.e. a harful jar? Is it harful istifham? Is it from the huruful nida, etc., etc.? So number two basically is to identify each individual word. This is what will give you confidence in translating, because then you will know that this word is this word is this word is this. And in line with number two is number three, that you will be required to use the dictionary. You will obviously, to determine the meaning of each word, you will need to use the dictionary. So I will repeat that again. Number one, read the text correctly. Number two, identify each individual word. Is it an ism, fi'l, or harf? And number three is that you need to know the meanings of the individual words, and for that you will need to use the dictionary many a time. Step 4 is basically after you have looked at the step 1, step 2, step 3. Step 4 is that you identify what I call the major parts of the sentence. So for example, if there is an inna, where is the ism, where is the khabar? Where is the noun of inna and where is the khabar? If there is a kana, same thing again, where is the ism, where is the khabar? If, for example, there is a verb, where is the fa'il? Is there a maf'ul bihi, basically? So you identify the major parts of the sentence. And obviously we have mubtada and khabar. So if there is a mubtada in the sentence, where is the khabar, etc. So you identify the major parts of the sentence. And then we come to step 5, which is an addition to step 4, which is identify now within the sentence. So within the sentence, you will identify that, for example, the mubtada, it's big, it's for example, it's a compound. Is it mudaf ilayh? Is it mawsuf sifa? You can sometimes have the khabar of inna, the khabar of inna and the khabar of kana. It could be a sentence. So what type of sentence is it? Ismiyyah, fi'liyyah, and then you have to analyze that sentence itself. So basically, you're breaking up the sentence into small, manageable chunks. That's what step 4 and step 5 involves. Let's now look at an example and apply these principles inside this example. So this example, it's from chapter 1, it's the second line. So the first step is read the text correctly. That's the first step. So كان في قرية رجل مشهور جدا. That's fairly straightforward. Most of you will know how to read Arabic texts. So step 1 is very straightforward. However, we have to mention it because it's part of the requirements. Let's now go to step 2. What was step 2? Step 2 is basically identifying. Identify each individual word. So let's do that. Let's identify each individual word. So you've got kana here. So kana is a past tense verb. It's from the group of verbs which we refer to as kana and its sisters, kana and its counterparts, kana, sara, asbaha, amsa, adha, dhalla, bata, etc. And kana needs an ism and a khabar, but we'll come to that. Fi is very straightforward. It's a preposition, harful jar. Fi requires a majroor, and qarya is the majroor. And qarya, you will need to check up the meaning of this word in the dictionary and also find out the plural. So we will do that. Rajul basically is a noun. And by the way, qarya is also a noun. How do we know qarya is a noun? Because of 3 reasons. Number 1, it's after harful jar. After harful jar, you can only have a noun. Number 2, it has got a ta'ul marbuta, a round ta, which is a sign of a noun. A verb will never have a round ta. Verbs have this type of ta, the long ta, like darabat, verb number 4, kasarat, kharajat, dakhalat, and also verb number 13, dakhaltu, kasartu, sharibtu, akaltu. And again, it's got tanween as well. Tanween is a sign of a noun. Can you see? It has a tanween. It's got kasratain. Rajul is also a noun. Again, very obvious sign. It's got a tanween. And we all know what rajul means. So you don't need to check up this word. Okay, it means man. Okay. Mashhur is also a noun. Mashhur is also a noun. And jiddan is also a noun because both have got tanween. Mashhur, you might already know the meaning of this, so you may not have to check it. Otherwise, you check it in the dictionary. And we also identify mashhur is a noun, but what type of noun? It's a ismul maf'ul. Ismul maf'ul is from the category of mushtaq. So mashhur is a mushtaq, and from mushtaq, which one is it? It's ismul maf'ul. Jiddan is also a noun. Don't worry too much about jiddan at the moment. We will cover this in more detail later on, but do understand the meaning of jiddan, which you can get from the Al-Mawrid dictionary. So this is step 1 done. We've read the text. We've done step 2 as well. We've identified each individual word. And we have also done step 3 as well, which is identify the meanings of the word by using the dictionary, which I hope you are doing as we are watching this video if required. And I forgot to mention that kana, when you identify kana as part of your step-by-step process, then you also need to say these 4 things. So kana is al-fi'lul madi, so that's the first thing which you will say. It's al-fi'lul madi, so you will highlight that. Number 2, you will identify it's from bab nasara yansuru, and then you will give simultaneously the madi and mudari, kana yakunu. So number 2 and 3, they go together. So you will give the pattern, kana yakunu. And then finally you will mention the haftul aqsam, that it is ajwaf al-wawi. Kana was governor. Kawana, and yakunu was yakwunu. Yakwunu. So whenever your teacher asks you, what type of verb is this? What you need to do is, fatafat, without any delay, number 1, number 2, number 3, you give all 4 pieces of information without any prompts, because this will save time. This will save time. So you will say this is madi or mudari or al-fi'l al-amr, etc. Another thing you will also say, which doesn't apply here because kana is the first one, you will also mention the verb number. So you will say it's al-fi'l al-madi. However, it's let's say if this was kanat, you'll say it's number 4. Number 4. And if the teacher wishes, they will also ask you the paradigm every now and then as well. Kana, kana, kanu, kanat, kanata, kunna, kunta, kuntuma, kuntum, kunti, kuntuma, kuntunna, kuntu, kunna. So as you can see, the whole purpose of this process is that we are putting our grammar rules into practice, and only then will we be able to, inshallah, solidify and consolidate the grammar rules which we have learned, and at the same time reach the ultimate objective, which is to confidently translate Arabic text. Now we come to step 4, which is to identify the major parts of the sentence. So as mentioned already, kana requires 2 things, an ism and a khabar. The ism is in the nominative case. Now there's only one thing here which is in the nominative case, and that is rajulun mashhur. So this is the ism of kana. The more you do this, very quickly you will inshallah build ability to quickly identify where's the ism, where's the khabar, where's the fa'il, where's the maf'ul bihi, etc., etc. So rajulun mashhurun is the ism. Something else which you need to appreciate, that the ism doesn't have to always be immediately after kana. When we were doing simple sentences, you'd usually have kana and then the ism and then the khabar. For example, kana Zaydun jalisan, Zayd was sitting. However, the ism can also be further away, like in this example. Now the second question is, where's the khabar? Naturally, you might think that jiddan is the khabar, but it's not. And the way you can find out is, let's just remove jiddan, pretend it's not there, and see if the sentence will make sense. كان في قرية رجل مشهور, and it does make sense. It does make sense. So when you are analyzing, you also need to look at the translation at the same time. That's why in step 3, we look at the individual meanings of the word. So how will we translate? كَانَ فِي قَرْيَةٍ رَجُلٌ مَشْهُورٌ. So obviously this is the ism. So we're going to translate this, inshallah, first. There was, because kana is past tense, was, there was a famous man. And jiddan means very. There was a very famous man, and let's just forget jiddan like I said, so let's remove this. There was a famous man in. Fi means in. And the word qarya, it means village. So, there was a famous man in a village. Not there's no al here. All these things matter. Attention to detail. So, it's quite obvious that where is the khabar of kana? The khabar of kana is here. Fi qariyah. Like I mentioned, don't worry too much about jiddan at this stage. At this stage. So there we are. We've got the ism and we've got the khabar. Jiddan, understand it that it's for ta'keed. It's for emphasis. It's for emphasis. And who is it emphasizing? Famous man. He was very famous. So jiddan's connected to the ism. Jiddan is connected to the ism, not the khabar. So now we know what is what. The translation is extremely easy. So as you can see, this is the conclusion now. We, alhamdulillah, confidently know where is the ism, where is the khabar. Step 5 is identify now within the sentence. In fi qarya, there's not much to identify. Harful jar majroor. However, if you look at the ism, there are 2 words. 1, 2. Rajulun mashhurun. Rajulun mashhur, what is that? Is it a mudaf ilay? Is it mawsuf sifa? Well, it's mawsuf and it's a sifa. The first word rajul is a mawsuf and mashhur is the sifa. And just a quick recap, what is a sifa? A sifa is a follower. The Arabic word for follower is tabi'. Sifa follows. Who does it follow? It follows the mawsuf. It follows the mawsuf. What do we mean by follow? The same case ending of the mawsuf, the sifa will have. If the mawsuf is basically masculine, then the sifa will also be masculine. If the mawsuf is ma'rifa, for example, it's got al, sifa will also have al. That's why rajul is nakira, indefinite noun, therefore mashhur is the same. So this is step 5. Identifying within the sentence. So once you've done all this, you will see that you can translate confidently. There was a famous man in a village. And you can translate fi qarya first as well. In a village, there was a famous man, i.e. a very famous man. Hope that makes sense. Let's now move on to another example. So this example is from chapter 2. Chapter 2 begins with waladu azara. So this is in chapter 2. So step 1 is very straightforward, to read the text correctly. وَكَانَ يَعْرِفُ أَنَّ الْأَصْنَامَ لَا تَتَكَلَّمُ وَلَا تَسْمَعُ. What we want to remember is that when we read the Arabic text, we want to read it with the madrasa mantra, which is CLST. This is really important that you don't mumble, jumble, and you speak and read the text in a manner like you've got a sweet or something stuck down your throat. Rather, the text needs to be read clearly, loudly, and slowly. وَكَانَ يَعْرِفُ أَنَّ الْأَصْنَامَ لَا تَتَكَلَّمُ وَلَا تَسْمَعُ. So now let's move on to step number 2. So kana, let's identify. It's a verb. It's out of ism fi'al harf. It's a fi'al. It's al-fi'l al-madi. It's number 1. It's from Bab Nasr Yansuru, Kana Yakunu, Haftul Aqsam, Ajwaf Wawi. Simple. And some words will come again and again. So your teacher, as those words come again and again, will not ask you to identify them. Once you've done them 5, 6, 7 times, what the teacher will do is maybe once a week ask that word because you should be quite familiar with it. You should be familiar so we can focus on the new words. So then we've got ya'rifu. Ya'rifu, again, it's not an ism, it's a fa'al, it's mudari', it's number 1. What's the bab? ضرب يضرب, ماضي مضارع pattern, عرف يعرف, haftul aqsam is sahih. So you should know what sahih is. Sahih is that verb. So sometimes teachers will ask you what is sahih. So you'll have to explain. So we know that you're not just learning parrot fashion. Sahih is that verb which does not have 2 same letters, a hamza or waw, alif or ya in the root letters. Then we have anna. Anna, it's not an ism, it's not a fa'al, it's a harf. If it's a harf, what type of harf? Well, it's from a group of huruf which are given the name al-huruf al-mushabbahatu bil-fa'al, which are inna, annaka, anna, lakinna, layta, la'alla. So you will be expected to know the others from the same group as well, from the same family. Al-asnam is an ism. How do we know al-asnam is an ism? Very simple. It's got an al. Al and tanween are the signs of a noun. A verb will never have, a fa'al will never have al or never have tanween. So there we are. We know what al-asnam is. And simultaneously what you will do is step 3. You will check up al-asnam in the dictionary. As you do this more and more, you will soon know automatically that al-asnam is a plural. It's a jam'. It's a plural. You will know. And you will take an educated guess the more you do this, that most probably the singular is going to be sod, noon and meme, something like sanam, sinam, sunam, whatever, and you will check in the dictionary accordingly. Because the mawrid which you are using, it does not give you the plurals of words. So when you do come across a plural, you need to know the singular to be able to find out the meaning, basically. So that is a little challenging. Let us now go to la tatakallamu and la tasma'u. These are verbs. These are verbs. You can just tell by the pattern. You can just tell by the pattern. So let's take the example of tatakallamu. So it's a mudari'. It's not madi. Because madi will not have 1, 2, 3, 4 and tashdid, so 5, 6 letters. The madi is takallama. Madi has only got 5 letters. Takallama. So it's a mudari'. What bab is it from? So what number mudari is it? So that's another question. For now, we do know it's number 4, but how is it number 4? We will determine that later when we do step 4 and 5. But it's number 4. It's not number 7, because this could be number 7 as well. So it's number 4. Yatakallamu, yatakallamani, yatakallamuna, tatakallamu. So the bab, it's tafa'ul, ماضي مضارع pattern, تكلم يتكلم, and haftul aqsam is sahih, كلم. The root letters, we have to look at the root letters. This is not muda'af, so don't confuse. We look at the root letters, which is kaf, lam and mim. So it's sahih. And you all know what sahih is because we've just had it here in ya'rifu. Tasma'u, again you go over the process. You identify, it's not an ism, it's not a harf, it's a fa'al. And again, all these things, you will, if your teacher just says, what is tasma'u? So you just start reeling off one by one without any prompts. So tasma'u, it's a mudari', it's number 4, it's from bab sami'a yasma'u, and the pattern itself is sami'a yasma'u, and the haftul aqsam is sahih. So one by one, you just reel this information off without any prompts from the teacher. As I mentioned earlier, all this saves time, and it also reflects upon your competency, that you know what you are doing. So we've done step 1, 2 and 3. We've read the text. We've identified each individual word, is it ism, fa'al, harf, and gone into the respective detail of ism, fa'al, or if it's a harf. And we've also used the dictionary at the same time to check up the meaning. So, step 1 and 2, they are interlinked. They are interlinked. Let's now go to step number 4. So step number 4 is basically identify the major parts of the sentence. So we've got quite a few things here. We have got, mashallah, quite a few things. First of all, you've got kana. That's the biggest thing. Kana requires, as you now know by now, and you'll be fairly confident about this, it requires 2 things. An ism and the khabar. So, one thing is for sure, if you look at this carefully, يعرف أن الأصنام لا تتكلم ولا تسمع, you can't see any ism. يعرف is not the ism of kana, that's for sure, because يعرف is a fi'l, it's a verb. So first of all, it's a verb. How can it be the ism of kana? Then anna is a harf, so it's not an ism, so it doesn't qualify. And then this is step 5, but we need to, like I said earlier, step 4 and 5 are also interlinked. Anna needs an ism and khabar itself. Anna needs an ism and khabar itself. So al-asnam, as you will be aware, is the ism of anna, because the ism of anna is always in halatun nasb, accusative case. Inna anna ka anna, it's always in the accusative case, their ism. And their khabar obviously is this. So where is the ism of kana? Let's go back to our original question. So as you've correctly identified, the ism of kana is inside it. It's inside kana. So what is inside kana? The pronoun huwa. The pronoun huwa. So the other question now arises is whenever you have a pronoun, you must always look for what we term in Arabic as the marja'. Marja' means where does this pronoun point to? Who is it referring to? So for this, you will have to look at the sentence, or maybe even 2 sentences before this particular sentence. And if you look in your book, the sentence before this sentence is وَكَانَ إِبْرَاهِيمُ يَعْرِفُ أَنَّ الْأَصْنَامَ حِجَارَةٌ. Ibrahim is the ism. Ibrahim who is what huwa is pointing to. The dhamir huwa is pointing to Ibrahim alayhi salatu wassalam. The reason Ibrahim has not been mentioned here, it's because it's so obvious. It's so obvious. So because of that, there is no need to refer to the actual word Ibrahim. Rather, we are referring to him through a pronoun. And we use that in everyday communication as well. We say, oh, I saw Zaid today in town. He was running. You don't say, oh, I saw Zaid today in town. Zaid was running. You don't say that. You don't refer to the same name 2-3 times within the space of 2-3 sentences. Yes, if there was a large gap, then you would refer to the name again just for clarification purposes. So we've identified the ism. It's inside kana. Let's now look at the khabar. The khabar of kana now inevitably has to start from ya'rifu. Has to start from ya'rifu. Now the question is, where does it go up to? Well, it goes up to right here. This entire sentence in blue is the khabar of kana. So we've identified the major parts of the sentence. We now need to go to step 5. We now need to look at step 5, which is identify within the sentence. So when I say within the sentence, we now need to identify basically this bit. يعرف أن الأصنام لا تتكلم ولا تسمع. We need to break it down. We need to break it down. So يعرف, it's a fa'il. What does it need? It needs a fa'il. It needs a doer, a fa'il. Now, one thing is for sure, the words from anna till the end, none of these words qualify to become a fa'il because it's impossible. It's not going to make sense. It's not going to make sense. Fa'il is someone who does the work. Arafa ya'rifu means to know, to recognize. None of these words here qualify to become the fa'il. So there's only one conclusion again. Where is the fa'il? Well, it's inside ya'rifu. It's the dhamir again, the pronoun, the dhamir huwa. And again, the question arises that who is this pointing to? What is the marja'? The marja' is the same as before, Ibrahim alayhi salam. So it's like this. وَكَانَ إِبْرَاهِيمُ يَعْرِفُ إِبْرَاهِيمُ. But you're not going to say that. You're not going to say that. So now, whilst we're doing this second identification, we are going a bit deeper. Think of the translation as well. So let's do the translation up to here. وَكَانَ يَعْرِفُ, and he. وَكَانَ, and he, because the huwa is inside kana. And the way you need to translate this is really important, is that you will refer to who that he or she is. وَكَانَ, and he, you will say, i.e. Ibrahim alayhi salam. And he, i.e. Ibrahim alayhi salam, ya'rifu, knew or recognized. So what did he know? What did he recognize? Obviously this verb, it requires a maf'ul bihi, because the meaning is not complete. So now the question arises, where is the maf'ul bihi of ya'rifu? So ya'rifu so far is fa'al and fa'il. Ya'rifu till the end is the khabar. So we always keep that in mind. We don't forget. And we are breaking the khabar down now. And ya'rifu needs a maf'ul bihi. Well, the maf'ul bihi, it starts from anna all the way till the end. So the maf'ul bihi itself, the maf'ul bihi itself is quite big. There's altogether 1, 2, 3, 4 words. So what we do is we now do another further analysis. We go even deeper. What do I mean by that? We have got here anna. Anna needs two things, an ism and a khabar. The ism is very straightforward. It's al-asnam. The ism is al-asnam, because the ism of inna, anna, ka-anna, al-huruf al-mushabbahatu bil-fi'l is always in the accusative case, halatun nasb. So there's only one thing here in halatun nasb, it's al-asnam. Where is the khabar? The khabar is again very straightforward. This is the khabar. So the khabar of anna is also a sentence. It's a complete sentence, because all verbs, remember one thing, all verbs are sentences. Daraba, daraba, darabu, kasara, kasara, kasaru, jalasa, jalasa. Every one of them is a sentence. Every one. So we have got here sentence number 1, which is la tatakallamu, and sentence number 2, la tasma'u. These are basically joined by this waw, and this waw, just out of interest and also for your information, you call this what? Harful atf. You call it harful atf. Ain, ta, and fa. Harful atf basically is that particle, in this case waw, which simply joins two words together, like it's joined la tatakallamu and la tasma'u together. It doesn't do anything else, meaning it's not a amil, it's not a governor. It doesn't affect the i'rab. Like anna is a governor. Why? Because it puts the ism into the accusative case and it puts the khabar into the nominative case. So if you look first at the blue line, everything which is below the blue line is the khabar of kana. Then if you look at everything from anna till the end, anna with its ism and with its khabar, which is a jumla fa'liya, anna with its ism and khabar, it becomes jumla ismiya. It's a sentence by itself. It's a standalone sentence by itself. It's a nominal sentence. It then becomes the maf'ul bihi of ya'rifu. Then ya'rifu fa'il with the fa'il which is inside it huwa, and with its maf'ul bihi becomes again jumla fa'liya, a verbal sentence, and then it becomes the khabar of kana, and kana with its ism and khabar becomes jumla fa'liya. So that's the final tarkeeb. But can you see this sentence? It's got sentences within it. It's got two sentences within it. يعرف with its فاعل and مفعول به is a sentence. Then you've got another sentence within. Anna with its ism and khabar. So altogether you've got three sentences here. But the final sentence is jumla fi'liya. Kana with its ism and khabar, it becomes jumla fi'liya. We can now translate this sentence. So this is our final objective, to translate, but keeping the tarkeeb in mind. All this tarkeeb we've done. So وَكَانَ يَعْرِفُ, and he, i.e. Ibrahim alayhi salam, يَعْرِفُ knew. What did he know? Anna, that. How do we translate anna? That. Not indeed, that. That the idols, لا تتكلموا, do not speak, wow, and لا تسمعوا, do not hear and are not able to hear. لا تتكلموا ولا تسمعوا. Once you have done the tarkeeb, we want a translation as much as possible in a manner where it's literal, word to word. Sometimes you might have to make it a little figurative. However, as much as possible, we are going to do a literal translation, and you will realize the importance of this as you move along in this book. Something else I forgot to mention as part of step 5, 4 and 5, in between, basically, step 5, which is identifying within the sentence. The question arises that لا تتكلموا and لا تسمعوا, they are verb number 4. And verb number 4 is basically singular and feminine. Basically, singular and feminine. يتكلم يتكلمان يتكلمون تتكلموا. So this is verb number 4, and so is this. So question is, why are we using verb number 4? Why are we using verb number 4? That's the question. It arises. Both are verb number 4. So why? Despite the fact that al-asnam is a plural, it's a jam'. Therefore, you'd expect the khab, because ism and khabar has to match. So you'd expect the khabar to be plural as well. Well, the rule is very simple. We've covered it before. That al-asnam, although it's a plural, because it's the plural of what we call a ghayrul aqil, i.e. the plural of an object. Plurals of an object, you classify them as singular and feminine, what we refer to as S and F. We've done this many times. So because al-asnam is singular, because it is singular and feminine, therefore لا تتكلموا and لا تسمعوا, they are also singular and feminine, i.e. verb number 4. So I hope this is clear, and this is very important. It's very important that you are paying attention and you don't get bored with this. It might seem very long and tedious, but believe me, once you've been doing this for approximately 40 lessons, how many? For 40 lessons, this will become a piece of cake. It will inshallah become easy. The second reason I am telling you to pay attention is that basically, why do you need to pay attention? You need to pay attention because you will be assessed in your exam in the same manner. So pay attention. You will have an oral exam. You will have an oral exam, and you will be assessed in exactly the same way what you are being shown in this video. Because the assessment, the oral assessment, the purpose of that is to look at your ability to read a piece of text and take it apart, put it together, and confidently translate it. So this is really important that you pay attention and you watch this video, if needed, a second and a third time as well. Let's now move on to another example. So this is our third example. This is also in chapter 2, just 2 sentences after the previous example. So step number 1 is, let's read the text. وَكَانَ يَرَى الْفَأْرَ يَأْكُلُ طَعَامَ الْأَصْنَامِ فَلَا تَمْنَعُ. So again, let's start off with step 2, identifying each word. So kana has now been repeated twice in this video, so I am not going to cover kana basically. So let's leave kana. Let's look at yara. What is yara? Wakana yara. It's supposed to have a standing fatha. So let's just put one here. There, that's better. Wakana yara. So wakana yara. What is yara? From out of ism, fi'l and harf. So it's a fi'l. It's a fi'l. What type of fi'l? It's a mudari' and it's number 1. Bab. The bab is fataha yaftahu, which brings us to step 4. So we must know the madi mudari' pattern. Ra'a yara. Ra'a yara. And the haftul aqsam are basically mahmuz and naqis ya'i. Mahmuz and naqis ya'i. Basically, why is it mahmuz? Because let's look at ra'a. It was actually ra'aya on the pattern of fataha. Remember, it's from bab, fataha yaftahu. So ra'aya. So in the root letters, you've got a hamza, so it's a mahmuz. And also, it's naqis because in the from fa'ain and lam, in the lam, if you have a waw or a ya, it's naqis. If it's a ya, you call it naqis ya'i. So we've identified kana, we've identified yara. Let's look at the word al-fa'r. Al-fa'r, out of ism, fi'l and harf, it's an ism. And al-fa'r is a new word. So at the same time, step 3 will kick in. We will use the dictionary and find out the meaning. Ya'kulu, the same steps that we applied to yara will apply here. So ya'kulu, it's a fi'l. It's mudari' is number 1. The bab is nasara yansuru. The madi and mudari' is akala ya'kulu. And the haftul aqsam is mahmuz. Ta'am, it's a noun. And simultaneously, we will check the meaning in the dictionary as well. Al-asnam, we've had this. First of all, it's a noun because of al. Because of al. Ta'am, it's a noun because it's very obvious. Ta'am cannot be a verb. Ta'am cannot be a verb. It's impossible. Even though it hasn't got alif lam or tanween or at-ta'ul marbuta, around ta, etc. It's a noun. You will very quickly build this ability where you will just know this is ism, this is fi'l, this is harf. So al-asnam, we've covered that before as well. And then we've got fa. Fa. This is a harf. It's a harf. La, it's also a harf. It's harfun nafi, to negate. And then we've got tamna'u. So tamna'u, it's a fi'l. You can just tell by looking at it. It's on the pattern of taf'alu. So it's a mudari'. It's a mudari'. The number is 4. The number is 4. And the bab is fataha yaftahu. So madi mudari' will be mana'a yamna'u. And then the haftul aqsam is sahih. The haftul aqsam is sahih. So step 2 is done and step 3 has also been completed. If you don't know the meaning of mana'a, you will need to check it in the dictionary. Mana'a yamna'u. So step 4, let's identify the major parts of the sentence. So kana needs an ism and a khabar. Just as before, the remainder of the sentence, if you look at it from yara, there's nothing there that can really be the ism of kana. So there's only one conclusion, one inevitable conclusion. The ism of kana is within it. It's inside it, and it's the pronoun huwa. It's the pronoun huwa. And again, the question will arise, what is the marja'? What is the marja' of this huwa? It's Ibrahim alayhi salam. It's pointing to Ibrahim. And he, i.e. Ibrahim alayhi salam, yara, would see. So while we are doing step 4, we also focus on the translation. From yara till the end, it's the khabar. It's very simple. This entire sentence is the khabar. And the khabar again is big. It's big. So we need to identify within the sentence. So yara again needs a fa'il. Again, it's the same. It's inside it, huwa, pointing to Ibrahim alayhi salam. And he, i.e. Ibrahim alayhi salam, yara, would see. What would he see? What would he see? So yara needs a maf'ul bihi. Yara, it needs a maf'ul bihi. The maf'ul bihi obviously is this, as you can see, from al-fa'r till the end. And Arabic is a language where you have to sometimes use judgment, and the reason I'm saying that فَلَا تَمْنَعُ, the question arises that what are you going to do with فَلَا تَمْنَعُ? Are you going to make it into a new sentence, or are you going to include it into maf'ul bihi? At this stage, it's easier if we simply make فَلَا تَمْنَعُ into a new sentence. So basically, we stop at al-asnam, we stop here, and فَلَا تَمْنَعُ will be a separate sentence. However, because Arabic is Arabic, and sometimes you have more than one possibility, you could also lump it into the maf'ul bihi as well, basically. So this is the conclusion so far. This is the conclusion so far, that from yara till al-asnam is the khabar of kana, and then yara needed a maf'ul bihi. Well, the maf'ul bihi is basically the red arrow, al-fa'r till the end, al-fa'r till the end, i.e. up to al-asnam, up to here. Now, if we look at the maf'ul bihi, we need to break it up because it's big. So you've got al-fa'r here, and then you've got ya'kulu ta'am al-asnam. First of all, ya'kulu ta'am al-asnam is very straightforward. It's very straightforward. This is a jumla fi'liyah, because it can stand by itself, it can exist by itself. Ya'kulu ta'am al-asnam, you can translate it by itself. He is eating or will eat ta'am al-asnam, the food of the idols, ta'am al-asnam. Also, ya'kulu ta'am al-asnam, while you are analyzing that, ta'am al-asnam is also, it is basically mudaf and mudaf ilayh. So this is mudaf, and this is basically mudaf ilayh. And that's why al-asnam is in the genitive case. Al-fa'r is in the accusative case because it's maf'ul bihi. It's maf'ul bihi. The maf'ul bihi starts from here. So the yellow sentence, the bit in yellow, jumla fi'liyah, it's part of the maf'ul bihi. But the question now is, al-fa'r and ya'kulu ta'am al-asnam together makes the maf'ul bihi. However, what are they individually? How do they become maf'ul bihi? One thing is for sure, you can't say it's mubtada khabar. You can't say it's mubtada khabar thinking that, oh, al-fa'r, it starts, a sentence when it starts with a noun, because al-fa'r is in the accusative case, so it can't be mubtada. Mubtada is in halatul raf'. Al-fa'r is dhul hal. The rule is very straightforward. When you have a noun, which is ma'rifah, like al-fa'r is got al, and after a ma'rifah noun, if you have a sentence like you've got here, ya'kulu ta'am al-asnam, that sentence will be what we call hal. It will be hal. Hal means state, because this sentence, it describes the state of who? Of al-fa'r, the mouse. The mouse. And hal, which describes the state, whosever state is being described, you call it dhul hal. The word dhu in Arabic means possessor. Possessor of hal, dhul hal. Dhul hal, possessor of hal. And just as a side note, dhul hali itself is a mudaf ilayh. Possessor of the state. Dhul hali by itself is a mudaf ilayh. So alhamdulillah, we've identified that. So now this whole thing, dhul hal and hal together, dhul hal and hal together, it becomes the maf'ul bihi of yara. So you can now translate very confidently. So the translation, wakana, and he, i.e. Ibrahim alayhi salam, would see the mouse eating the food of, between mudaf and mudaf ilayh, you put of, the word of, if you're translating mudaf first. So let's start again. And he, i.e. Ibrahim alayhi salam, would see the mouse. Who would he see? The mouse. In what state would he see the mouse? So this is the hal. Eating the food of the idols. And then we're going to pause here. Okay. And then فَلَا تَمْنَعُوا, we basically said it's a new sentence. This fa, it's like it's a particle, and it denotes like something what you can describe as a consequence. So he's seeing the mouse eating the food of the idols. فَلَا تَمْنَعُوا. تَمْنَعُوا, thus they, again the question arises. Inside تَمْنَعُوا you've got here. Who is this here pointing to? It is pointing to Al-Asnam, idols. Remember, Al-Asnam is S and F, singular and feminine. That's why this dhamir here is also S and F, singular and feminine. Thus, they, i.e. the idol. So you must say the word i.e. for clarification, so we know what you're talking about. Thus, they, i.e. the idols, la tamna'u, are not stopping or preventing who? Preventing, la tamna'u, preventing the mouse, al-fa'r. فَلَا تَمْنَعُ الْفَأْرَ. So because it's so obvious, it is so obvious who the maf'ul bihi is. The maf'ul bihi of la tamna'u is what we call mahdhuf. It's omitted, it's been removed because it's so obvious. No need to mention it. No need to mention it. But it's good to point these things out in the translation, especially for beginners, so we build this ability and capacity of recognizing things which are mahdhuf in the text. Let's move to our final example now. And just a word, I know this video is rather long, however, it's very important. So you might want to pause here and watch it later on. You don't need to watch it all in one go. You can pause it here and watch it again afterwards, because from here a new example starts. So let's now look at this example. So let's go to step one. Step one is basically read the text with CLST. So let's do that. وَكَانَ إِبْرَاهِيمُ يَقُولُ فِي نَفْسِهِ لِمَاذَا يَسْجُدُ النَّاسُ لِلْأَصْنَامِ. So let's now go to step number 2. So we have done kana. We've done kana many times. Ibrahim is a noun. Why? It's a name. Names are nouns. يَقُولُ. يَقُولُ, just by looking at it, you know it's a fa'l. It's mudari'. It's number 1. Bab nasara yansuru. Qala yaqulu. Haftul aqsam is ajwaf wawi, because qala was qawala. Qala was qawala. Do not be deceived by looking at qala and thinking that it looks like sahih or something to me because it's got qaf, alif and lam, or it could be mahmuz or something. Wallahu a'lam. No, don't be deceived. You have to look at the root letters. The root letters of qala is qaf, waw and lam. Fi, as you know, is a harf, i.e. harful jar, prepositions. Sometimes teachers will ask you how many prepositions are there. So you will answer 17 and they will say them. So bawo, ta'o, kafu, lamo, wawo, mundho, mudkhala. You will basically say that. Nafsihi is majroor and it's a noun. Anything after a harful jar is a noun. Okay. And nafs itself is one word. He is a pronoun. So question will arise whenever you see a pronoun. What is the marja'? What or who is this pronoun pointing to? Well, it's very straightforward. Ibrahim alayhi salam. Ibrahim alayhi salam. So down here, the only word you might have to check in the dictionary is nafs. So step number 3 as part of step number 3. Then we come to this part of the sentence. Limadha. We've got here limadha. What is limadha? Limadha is basically a harf. It's not a ism, it's not a fa'l. And we call this harful istifham. Harful istifham. Istifham, questioning particle. What we call an interrogative particle, basically. A particle which you use to ask questions about. Yasjudu, as you know, very straightforward, it's a fa'l. It's a mudari', it's number 1. Bab, nasara yansuru, pattern of the first one of each, sajada yasjudu, and it's sahih. Sajada is sahih. An-nas is a noun because it's got alif lam. Lam is a harful jar. This lil asnam, this lam is a harful jar. And al asnam is majroor, and it's a noun. And we've had this word several times now. So we have now done step 1, which was to read the ibara, the text correctly. We've identified ism, fa'al, harf. We've also used the dictionary. So you might have to check what limadha means in the dictionary. You might have to check what sajada yasjudu means. And if you don't know the meaning of an-nas, you'll have to check that. Let's now move on to steps 4 and 5, which I've mentioned many times. They are interlinked. So, kana needs an ism and a khabar. Ism is very straightforward. Ibrahim is the ism. It's in nominative case. Ism of kana is in nominative case. So Ibrahim is in nominative case and it's the ism of kana. Another question is that why does Ibrahim not have a tanween? Why is it not wakana Ibrahimun? Especially when Ibrahim does not have any alif lam. Why is it not Ibrahimun? The answer is very straightforward. It's a diptort. It's a ghayrul munsarif, and ghayrul munsarif does not have two things, tanween and kasra, a physical kasra. So down here there will be no tanween. Where is the khabar of kana? The khabar of kana is also very straightforward. It's this, yaqulu fi nafsihi. And the khabar is a sentence by itself, jumla fa'liya, because yaqulu is a fa'l. So this is a jumla fa'liya. And within that jumla fa'liya, you've got a fa'il, which is huwa, which is pointing to Ibrahim alayhi salam. So it's pointing to Ibrahim. And this fi is a harful jar. This is the majroor. The majroor is a mudaf ilay. Nafs is mudaf. He is mudaf ilay. That's why nafs doesn't have a tanween. Why? Because it's mudaf. Mudaf does not have tanween. The other thing to appreciate here is a jar majroor. A jar and majroor. So in our case, fi nafsihi, a jar and majroor always needs, a jar and majroor, it always needs something to latch onto, something to connect to. And whatever it connects to, it will either be physically mentioned in the sentence or it will be hidden. Down here, fi nafsihi is connected to yaqulu. Fi nafsihi is connected to yaqulu. So yaqulu, fa'il with its fa'il and with its jar and majroor becomes jumla fa'liya, and then it becomes the ism of kana. Kana with its ism and khabar becomes a verbal sentence. So from here to here, it's a verbal sentence, it's a jumla fa'liya. Let's now look at the translation. We can now translate this part of the sentence. So, wow. Remember, it's a harful atf. And kana Ibrahimu. Ibrahim alayhi salam would. Kana would. Yaqulu say. Okay. Fi in. Nafsihi his soul. Nafs literally means soul. And Ibrahim alayhi salam would say in his soul. Okay. Now, that's the literal translation and it looks a little bit iffy. It doesn't look too good. So now, this is an example where you need to do a little bit more figurative, translation. So how would we do that? وَكَانَ إِبْرَاهِيمُ, and Ibrahim alayhi salam would say, فِي نَفْسِهِ, in his heart. Okay, you could say that. Would say in his heart. You could even say in his mind, okay? Or, even better, would say to nafs himself. So he means him and nafs means self, soul, self. And Ibrahim, because the word nafs refers to a person. There's a rule in Arabic that sometimes you use what we call a juz. Juz basically means part of a person. Juz means part. You describe someone by a juz. The kul means the entire. You describe the kul, the entirety of something or someone by using a juz, like the word nafs here. So, and Ibrahim alayhi salam would say, fi nafsihi, to himself. So there's quite a few probabilities here. It's good to be aware of all of them, and also the reason. You should also know why you are translating in this manner. You must know that, and that can only happen, that's only possible if you know the literal meaning of nafs. You've looked in the dictionary. So that's the first bit done. Let's look at the second sentence now. So step 4, identify the major parts of the sentence. We've limadha is harful istifham. Yasjudu is a fi'l. A fi'l needs a fa'il. Well, it's very obvious. An-nas is the fa'il, because fa'il is always in halatul raf', nominative case, and there you are, an-nas is in the nominative case. Nothing else can be the fa'il here. It's really straightforward. Lam is harful jar, and al-asnam is majroor. Harful jar and majroor, as you've just heard, needs to latch on, connect to something. Down here, it connects to yasjudu. It connects to yasjudu. So the translation now. So basically, before the translation, this is a jumla fi'liya. You disregard the harf. The sentence will be taken into consideration from yasjudu. So because this sentence begins with a verb, so it's a jumla fi'liya. It begins with a fi'l. So fi'l, an-nasu fa'il, and with its jar and majroor becomes a jumla fi'liya. And the translation will be limadha. Why? Limadha is a question. Why? And then whenever you have a fi'l and fa'il, because in English the fa'il comes first, we translate the fa'il the first. So why are the people yasjudu prostrating? Lam to the idols. Why are the people prostrating to the idols? So the tarjuma becomes very easy once you know the tarkeeb. The tarkeeb also allows you to translate in the correct order. Like an-nas will be translated before the fa'il yasjudu. The analysis we did at the moment was that we separated part 1 and part 2, just to make it easier. But in reality, the whole part 1 and part 2 is one whole sentence. And how is that? Let's look at that. So, وَكَانَ إِبْرَاهِيمُ يَقُولُ فِي نَفْسِهِ. And Ibrahim alayhi salam would say فِي نَفْسِهِ to himself. What would he say? The bit in green is what he would say. So, this is known in Arabic grammar as the maqula. It's a ismul maf'ul from qala yaqulu. Maqula basically means what has been said. And every maqula requires a qawl. So where is the qawl in here? Like mudaf ilayh needs mudaf, sifa needs mawsuf, hal needs dhul hal. So maqula needs what we call a qawl. So this is the qawl. And Ibrahim alayhi salam would say to himself, and Ibrahim alayhi salam would say to himself. So, يقول في نفسه is jumla fi'liya, and after becoming jumla fi'liya, it becomes qawl. لماذا يسجد الناس للأصنام? After becoming jumla fi'liya, it becomes the maqula. The qawl and maqula together will become the grand khabar of this kana. Kana with its ism and khabr, it will become jumla fi'liya. So this is new information, qawl and maqula. Let's just look at another example. So we've got an example here. قال زيد. قال زيد أنا مريض. Zaid said. What did he say? أنا مريض. I am ill. So what did he say? أنا مريض. You've guessed it. أنا مريض is the maqula. So somebody's got to say this maqula. That bit you call it qawl. So قال زيد. قال is the fa'il. Zaydun is the fa'il. Fa'il and fa'il together, it becomes jumla fi'liya, a verbal sentence. Okay? And then it becomes qawl. Then the qawl plus the maqula together becomes the final sentence. It will become jumla fi'liya. So basically the maqula is absorbed within the qawl. What you're not going to say is qala zaydun, it's fi'l fa'il jumla fi'liya. Ana maridun, this is mubtada, this is khabar jumla ismiya, and you leave them as two separate sentences. No, qawl maqula are together, put together to form one final sentence. So whatever is said is the maqula. Always remember. Just to conclude this video, it has been rather long. That's why I did suggest that do stop it and watch it in stages. Jazakumullah for watching. I hope it has been beneficial. It's very important you take every sentence as mentioned in this video. The 5 steps. Reading the ibara, the text correctly, identifying ism fa'al harf, simultaneously using the dictionary, and then identifying the major parts of the sentence, and then to do a second identification, a second analysis where you go more deeper and you look at the individual major parts separately, individually, and then you wrap it up with one final tarkeeb. This is very important, and as mentioned, this will be also part of your oral assessment. I strongly advise that you watch this video again and you do tahqiqat as described and mentioned in the in a video previously. You check every word in the dictionary. You build this ability, because in your oral assessment you will be given 7-8 lines, and words which you do not know, you have to check them in the dictionary. If you've built up a habit of looking in the dictionary, it will be very straightforward, so you can then focus on other aspects like tarkeeb, the translation, etc. Jazakallah. Assalamu alaikum.